Hey, we're here at Anime World Chicago with Carli Mosier, and you have to explain something to me. First time I see you yesterday, you've got a guy in a headlock. What is this about?
Okay, well, I teach mock combat for cosplay. It's essentially stage combat, but geared more toward cosplayers. I teach it with Chris Ayers a lot of times, but yesterday was my first time teaching it by myself. And basically, Chris had seen a lot of cosplayers that were doing their skits for cosplay competitions, and he would see them do fights, and they would be either unsafe or not well done. One time he saw somebody put a hole through a brand new convention center, and that's the worst. Like, you don't want a convention center, you don't want a convention to lose their deposit because of a cosplayer, or just a competition. So he complained about it, and then he kind of started this panel to teach, because he's been a stage combat teacher for a long, long time, and I had been his assistant for, well, since I was about 20, and that's about 13 years ago. And so when I, started doing voice acting and doing conventions, he said, you should do this panel with me and be my assistant, just like you are in stage stuff. So that's what we did yesterday. We just basically worked on teaching kids how to beat their friends up without really hurting them. So yeah, that was it.
Tell me a little bit about some of your most recognizable roles.
My husband would say it's Daisy in Halo Legends, because he doesn't like anime all that much. Not that he doesn't like it, but he's just not into it the way that we all are. And Halo was the first thing he was like, oh my gosh, I know what Halo is. So there's that. And I've had a lot of kids tell me this weekend, actually, that, they really liked my performance in that show, and I really like it. I'm also in Shin-Chan, which I was a big fan of before I got cast, and I'm in the new season. I'm Aunt Bitsy. One of my smaller shows, it's a 13-episode show called Daikon Brothers. It's a Nabashin show, so it's kind of crazy and out there, and it's a musical, so I get to sing, which I love to do. But it's based on the Blues Brothers, and I play the cop that's always trying to get the brothers and their cousin, try to take them to jail, and then she ends up liking them, and all that good stuff. And then I have a couple of new things that are coming out. Baka and Test is new. I play the lead character's creepy older sister, and I'm in Heaven's Lost Property. And Needless, there's a show called Needless that I'm in also. So those are my newer things. But Halo is probably my most widely known thing, because people that don't know anime, like, at least they know what Halo is. So then they're like, oh, okay, I kind of know that. So that's neat, yeah. That's probably the biggest thing I've done.
That's a long lineup, actually. Do you find ever that when you go to conventions that people almost mistake you too much for the characters that you play? And has that ever caused either a really happy moment or a really awkward moment?
Not so much. For me, I'm kind of lucky. I'm not, we have Vic Mignogna here this weekend, and he's incredibly popular, and people love him, and that's great. I'm not as widely known as he is, so I have a lot of kids sometimes that don't even know what I've done. They just kind of read my bio, and they say, oh, I totally want to go see that show now, and that's great. I do have kids that want me to sing, from Daikon Brothers, because it's kind of a culty show. There's a little cult following. So I do have a little bit of that. But for the most part, I've been really lucky with fans. Fans are really respectful. They like my work, but then they know that I'm just a person. So fans generally treat me pretty well. They don't make me feel awkward, or anytime I have a kid that comes up and tells me, that they really enjoyed my work, or that I my character help them laugh during a really tough time or something, that's hugely important to me, and it makes me feel good. It's nice to be a part of somebody's happiness and joy. But I'm really lucky. I don't get a lot of awkwardness. I don't get a lot of weird fan stories. I'm not, I don't know if it's because I'm not as well known as some people, or I'm intimidating. Probably not, because I'm not very intimidating. But I'm just lucky.
I don't know, intimidating. We could go back to the headlock. So, are you able to talk about any of your upcoming projects or anything that you're really excited about?
Well, I have. There's a couple of shows that I've done that I still am in the NDA, non-disclosure agreement period. But like the new stuff, Baka and Test, I play Akira Yoshi, and she is creepy, creepy older sister that makes her brother feel really uncomfortable because of her weird advances, and that's weird and really good show, and directed by the fabulous Terry Doty, who I love. This is my first time working with a female director, and it was awesome. One show that I just premiered at the Alamo Drafthouse in Houston is Night Raid, and it's a 13-episode show that is basically, it takes place in the 30s during the Manchurian incident in China. So it's very noir, very like dark and mysterious, and there are some funny parts, but for the most part it's kind of spy thriller type thing. And I get to play the narrator, who is also the prophetess. So it was a deeper register for me. I generally play people that are in my range or like more girly than I am, and so that was really cool. If you liked like dark noir type stuff, that would definitely be a show for you. And then Heaven's Lost Property, I come in at the end of the first season and then all through the second season, and I play an angeloid called Astria, and she's very buxom, and she's a really awesome fighter, but she's stupid, stupid, stupid. And that was super fun to play. And it's a really funny show. Greg Ayers is in it. He's great. And yeah, so those are my newest shows that are out. And I have a couple others, but we'll have to talk about those later.
Well, I think that's actually a good point to wrap it up. I want to thank you very much for coming. It's been a great time.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys.